Okay, let's get started by cloning the template and analyzing the way that it's built and structured so that we can understand what we're about to get ourselves into. All right, so I'm going to click use for free and then create site. And I'm going to call this uncommon portfolio. Call it whatever you want. Create a site. Okay, and now we are inside. And let's get started by actually exploring first of all, let's preview this if we haven't before. So we have this nice intro animation. As we're scrolling, it kind of fades in. And then we can see our projects. We have 3 projects here. We have our footer. And then maybe we have some more pages. The about page, which has also this other section. We have contact with a contact form. All right, so this is basically what we have. So let's go ahead and start saying how this is built. We can see here in the navigator basically what we have on the page. The first thing that we have is this nav that we have, and you can see that it's green, which basically means that this is a component. A component is basically something that you create once and you use it in multiple places throughout the website. You can open up the component panel here and you can see that both nav and footer are used 4 times within the project, which makes it really easy. If we're adding a page or making a change to one of them, it's going to apply the change to all of them. It's a very powerful feature. We're going to cover it more in depth later. But for now, this is really, we can see that this is how we have it here. And then we have basically 2 sections. We have the hero section and then the other section. And actually that other section includes the footer inside of it. Not sure why, but that's the way they've basically built it. So let's see what we have in the hero section. First of all, we have the hero. Inside the hero, we have the image of the arrow that we have here in the middle. And then we have this wrapper that basically groups up all of the text together. And inside of it, we have 3 elements. So we have the first line of text that you can see WH1. It has inside of it, it has the actual text. And then we have another basically wrapper that holds the second line of text. Now, you might ask yourself, why are they separating it into 2 different kind of like elements and grouping them together? And the answer is, when we preview it, you can see that they're basically animating it separately. And you can even see that within the animation, it kind of, they're masked and they're moving outside of the mask. So the way that they're doing this, and we're not going to get deep into the interaction right now because this is the beginner's module. We're going to do it later. But you can see that basically they had to separate it into 2 elements, and each text element is wrapped within this div, which also serves as the mask for the interaction. And then we have this home subhead, which again is wrapped for the interaction and has a paragraph within it. So this is the hero section. This is the structure. And we can also see, let's review some of the classes and how they've styled things here. If we're going to click on the hero, we can see that they have here a hero class. And we can also see that some of the things, whatever is in blue is basically means that they have styled it. This is what the class itself includes. So we can see that it has a width of 100%. So it takes up all the, from left to right. It also has a minimum height of 100% vertical viewport height. This is very, very common for hero section. When you want it to take up the whole screen, you set it up for viewport height. This is a dynamic sizing versus if they would make it like 600 pixel, which is a fixed size, because everybody is working on a different screen. And if you want this to fill up the whole screen, you can't really put pixels because each one of them is different. And you also don't want to put it like 100% because 100% is the whole site. You just want it to fill up their viewport, which is what we have 100 viewport height for. And again, super common for hero sections. You'll seeing that a lot. They also have a position here that's fixed. And you might ask yourself, why is that? And you can see that as we're scrolling, all of the content that's here is actually not moving, right? Because it is fixed. So this is how they're basically styling the hero section. Let's see what we have here. So in this second section, we have this collection list wrapper, and you can see that it's purple. Basically, when you see something purple, you know that the data is coming from the CMS. So actually, let's take a look at the CMS. We're going to open up the CMS panel here, and you can see that they have a collection that is called projects, and it has 3 items within it. So these are basically the portfolio projects. And we can click it to see what's inside. You can see that they have a project name, and the link slug is basically the link of the page. It has some other things like description and project number so that they can reorganize them, I guess. They have a project image, description, and then here they basically have kind of like the case study. So by clicking here, we can go inside and we can edit this and replace it with our own content, or we can go ahead and create a new project. Now, if you're going to go here into the collection and click on the settings panel, this one, you're going to see the structure. So this is what we've seen right now. They've built a custom structure for project that includes a description, a number, a project image, all of these things. In the next module, in the intermediate one, we're going to build a custom collection on our own, but here we're going to work with what they've created for us, but you can understand here what they did. You can see what kind of fields they have and what type of information goes in there. So this is plain text, this is an image, this is a rich text, which we'll talk about. So this is basically, you can see the structure of the CMS, and you can go ahead and add projects, remove projects, edit these projects. Now, going back into the homepage, you can see that now they've put a collection list, and the list basically puts all the elements. So we have 3 projects. So basically the 3 projects appear here because the whole list of collection items is being here. But the weird or maybe non-intuitive thing is that if we're opening it up, you can actually see that there's only one element, right? So there's the collection list wrapper and then a collection list. And then basically this is the item. The item is called wrapper, and inside of it, there's a column, and inside of it, there's all of this information, the project info, but you can see that it does not show up 3 times. It shows up only 1 time, because when we're working with a CMS, we're only designing 1 time, basically the template for how an item on this list is going to look like, and automatically Webflow will apply this 3 times if we have 3 elements. So this is important to know and understand. So this is the collection list. After that, we have a footer. And by the way, when you have these components and you want to edit them, all you have to do is double click on this area, and you will see that now we're inside. Basically, the navigator shows us the inside of the footer component, which has div block 27 and div block 28. Very bad class naming, I can tell you already, because I don't understand the meaning of those, and I won't be able to reuse them. The whole idea behind classes is that we can reuse them to be more efficient. Here, they didn't do this, right? So I would probably go ahead and maybe even rename class and call this, this is probably footer wrapper. This is the, what they have. And this looks like a container, right? Because the idea of here is that it sets the width to 90%. So it contains it not to go all the way. So maybe I would call this, footer container, just so later on I scan and I understand what the purpose of these things is. So they have the idea here. All right. So this is basically the structure. Can go back here. If we want to see what pages are included on this template, I'm going to go here into the pages tablet panel. We have the home, which we've covered. We also have an about page, which we can go ahead and check out. We also have context, resources, and image license. These are basically just for the template. So for example, here they're basically giving you the templates. If you want to use them for mockups for your own projects, you can go ahead and download them here. But then after you use them, you can delete this page because we don't need it. Also image license, just to make sure that they're telling you that the credit for the images are from Unsplash, but you can, of course, we're going to change the images anyway. So we're not going to need these pages, but they're here, and it's good to know that we need to clean them up. We do have a project template page, which is basically the case study, and very similar to where we saw that when we have we're designing basically one template for how a collection item looks like on the homepage. Here, we only have 1 page for the case study, right? And we can see here that it's pulling right now the data that we're looking at is being pulled from this item in the CMS, looking at live. This is the first project, and we're seeing this here, but we can also change this to see how other projects are going to look like. So again, we're just designing this one template page, and Webflow automatically are going to create a different page for each one of the projects that we have in our CMS. So this is the project template, and you can see it's under CMS and it's purple, so you know it's dynamic. Then we have these utility pages, password if we're going to lock something, we're not going to use it, and 404 page, which is basically every website has this. It's when you're writing a link for a page that doesn't exist on a website. It basically gets you to a 404 page. It's classic in web design. You might want to design this to be on brand or something like this. Not mandatory, but it's here and you can do it. We don't have e-commerce or users pages on this template. So I think we are now good to go. Let's go ahead and start customizing it.